This next video here has been requested some time ago by a pretty faithful viewer of the channel, and they wanted me to react to it. I'm not going to do a reaction to it because it's pretty serious content. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and play it, then come back and share my thoughts on it, because I don't want to take away from the seriousness of the subject matter. It's pretty important.
Right. So let me also get the panelists in, and I guess we heard what Dr. Mohit Pirzada said to start off with, that yes, there have been a very large number of people killed in Pakistan also as a result of terrorism. But then also we heard from Amrullah Saleh and others saying that, but a lot of the problems actually originate in Pakistan. And that, Dr. Swamy, as I come to you, is a view that many in India also express, that yes, Pakistan is now also paying the penalty or paying the price for terrorism, but a lot of the origins were there. So it's a bit like somebody lighting a match to set a neighbor's house on fire, and then the fire coming back and affecting you. That's the way I've heard you and others also expressing it in the past.
I see, first of all, it's pretty clear that if there is any place terrorists are trained for committing terror acts in the three countries, they happen to be in Pakistan. So it's in fact the crucible of terrorism is Pakistan.
Yes, terrorism is a problem, and all of us in a sense end up paying the price for it. Perhaps we need to look for some specific issues as to where the problem is coming from and some specific solutions of how to fix the problem.
Well, before you fix the problem, there has to be, we have to get out of this mode of denial. I ask a question of the Pakistanis as follows. There's in all the terrorist incidents they have suffered from, not one Indian has been caught or has been found to be participating in the terrorist act. Whereas in India, we have so many Pakistanis we have caught, including the 2611, where we have traced the person who did the maximum amount of killing, and that was Kasab, and he was from Pakistan. Now, the issue has to be resolved. This is not a question of blame game, but blame has to be apportioned. We know that there are training camps in Pakistan. There are no training camps in India. There are no, in fact, this is the issue that has to be addressed squarely. It's not a question of blame game, but there is a blame. There is a kind of complicity, promiscuity in dealing with terrorism. The problem is Pakistan's civil society is not as strong as Indian civil society. We can govern through the civil authorities. In Pakistan, they have to take the veto, they have to bear the veto of certain militant organizations. So this is the issue which the Pakistani intellectuals must frankly own up and see what we can do together to see that the civil society is made stronger in Pakistan.
Who actually introduced this whole aspect of state terrorism back in 1970? My comrade here had highlighted this in his introductory remarks. I hope we are not forgetting the formation of Mukti Bahini by India and a huge amount of forces that were infiltrated into East Pakistan and that resulted in the separation of a part of our country. What would you call that? Don't you think that there is genesis of the whole problem of terrorism back in the era of 1970? And let me move forward. Your own ex-army chief, V.K. Singh, and this is in his book, I'm quoting it. He says in his book that under the instructions of the government, there were special units called TSDs, Technical Services Divisions. And the purpose of raising these TSDs was to spread terrorism both in India and Pakistan so that Pakistan could be blamed for it.
No such thing.
Now, this is the second example that I'm quoting,
Could you tell
and
me
there
the
is
page
evidence
number?
inside India.
Tell me the page number.
I can. No, I can. Well, I may not remember the page number because I haven't come prepared. But this I can tell you for sure that there is a mention of TSDs in his book. Please take my word. Please take my word. While your point that you don't find Pakistanis behind it may be legitimate, but please don't forget, you don't find Indians behind it, may be legitimate, but please don't forget that when you sponsor people from here and you prepare them and there is evidence that they are trained by your intelligence agency RAW in Afghanistan, obviously you would not find Indians perhaps there, you would find Pakistanis, And in India, the Samjhota Express incident and a few others, who did them? You still say that they were Pakistanis?
I think let us go back to Delhi and then we go to Kabul. Yes, over to Delhi to Vikram.
So can I get a response from Dr. Swamy, and then I'll toss it across to Kabul, and perhaps you can then, if you could respond to that and then take it across to Kabul, maybe Amrullah Saleh or somebody.
Internationally, the most original explanation I've heard of Mukti Bahini being a terrorist force is from this gentleman in Pakistan. No country of the world has recognized Mukti Bahini as a terrorist force. Now, of course, it was unfortunate for Pakistan because it broke up into two, thanks to the Mukti Bahini, and that because they drove a crore of people across the border to India, out of which the Mukti Bahini was born, and they went back to Bangladesh to create Bangladesh. Now, therefore, please tell me, is there any authority in the world which has declared Mukti Bahini as a terrorist force? The answer is no. Second, whether it is Samjhota Express, which Mr. Manishankar, his government's figment of imagination, that it was due to Indians who did it, that's a question which in the courts of law have found no takers. In fact, the United Nations declared responsible for the Samjhota Express, and that resolution of the United Nations still stands, that it was LT. Finally, let me say, the issue is, if these Indians are the sponsors of terrorism, there must be some evidence that Pakistan should give to India. There's not one evidence of India sponsoring any terrorism except vague allegations being made. Whereas we can give concrete examples of Pakistanis trained in Pakistan and engaging in terrorist activities. Have to take a call, and our call is not what the Congress call is. We think that this matter has to begin by people understanding what the reality, and the reality it's got nothing to do with blame. It's something that you must admit. If we have been responsible for any terrorism in Pakistan, they should give us evidence, and I would think that this would be proper for India to admit it. But I have not seen so far any evidence coming from Pakistan on this, except to quote American authors. And I can quote other American authors who say that Pakistan is a basket case. It is a fulcrum of or a crucible for terrorism, all kinds of things.
Well, kind of a compelling debate. I think the Pakistani side of the debate falls flat. I think that it is very much when you introduce any radicalism of anything. Let me rephrase that. You can be a radical at something and not harm people. There is an idea of radical Christianity, which is dying to yourself, feeding the poor. I mean, you see that kind of demonstrated in people who give their life to service. Let's call this militarized radicalism, right? And I think the problem that Pakistan is having in that debate there, the Pakistani panel, is there is militant radical Islam within their ranks. And I think, again, as we saw in the last trailer, Emporium, with the radicalized Americans, radicalization, when you mix in a militia type, typically bad stuff happens, man. Bad stuff. And the problem, I think, with Pakistan is it's truly a terrorist state. And I'm not saying the people are terrorists. The average Pakistani, the average Karachian who is just trying to make a living and spend time with his family, it's the government. It's the government. My beef is with the government. My beef is with the U.S. government, supporting them, propping them up, empowering them to really do what they're doing. And I really wish that it would stop. I really wish it would stop. I really think America has chosen wrongly. I really do believe that India should be our partner in that part of the world. Not Pakistan, dude. That's like, the Pakistani leadership is very Hitler-esque, if you ask me. Very Hitler-esque, very much just bad stuff, man. Just completely bad things. And again, this has nothing to do with the average Pakistani who's just trying to live his life. I have no issue with you at all. And I think it's unfortunate that we have goons here on YouTube that want to come in and say, all kind of crazy stuff about it. This is the leadership. This has nothing to do with you, unless, of course, you're a general in Pakistan. Then yes, it has something to do with you, or you're the president, prime minister, whatever you are over there. But your typical person that shows up on YouTube is like, come on, dude. Really? Come on. So, thank you, my friend, for sharing that video with me. I really appreciate it. And, I just wish peace on everybody watching this, that you guys are safe, that everything is good. And can we just free Kashmir, right? Let's just free Kashmir and get it over with. I'll catch you guys later. Please subscribe to my channel. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest videos. Thank you.